Hey guys, I just wanted to share with you quickly about one thing I changed this last week that has turned into a ton more productivity for my business. It's not what you would expect. I would definitely not expect this, but this one thing changed a lot, and I just want to share it with you. Stay tuned. I've been an entrepreneur for quite a while. I mean, I've been owning businesses since about 1998. I've been in business, owning a business, co-owning, and owning my own business, doing marketing since about 2011. And I watch a lot of videos online, a lot of YouTube videos and podcasts. I'm constantly learning. I'm listening to audiobooks and stuff like that. And you hear the gurus talk about grinding it out and working your butt off. And I get that. I mean, anybody who's in business pretty much knows that. You got to work hard, you got to work long hours and all that stuff. And in the back of your mind, it's, the thing you give up as an entrepreneur a lot of times is sleep. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, the more hours you're awake, the more you can work, and the more work you do, the more you get done. So it kind of makes sense on paper. But the one thing, I used to stay up till probably about 1, 2, 3 in the morning, depending on the day. I would tuck my wife in. I know that sounds funny, but around 11 p.m., I'd stay up for a few hours and I'd work until I was completely exhausted and wasted. So I would be doing the nod in front of my computer, and the next night would be the same thing until I just was too tired and I would go to bed at 11. And then I do the cycle over and over again, and I'd try and get as much done, and I'd work until I was exhausted. Some nights I'd be up 3 in the morning and I'd be like, you know what, I'm still wide awake, but I know I need to go to bed because it's going to ruin me for the next day. So that's what I did. And then I'd get up at 7 in the morning because that's the latest I could possibly sleep. We had to take the kids to school and so on and so forth. And then a few years back, I decided one day that I was just going to switch. I wanted to get up early and I was going to go to bed at the same time every night. Okay? Drastically changed everything. I was finding myself getting up at 5:30 in the morning and being way more productive because you've just slept. Okay, you've had a good rest. It's not the end of the day. You're not already spent working. So I changed my schedule to be a morning person. Okay, I don't believe you're a morning person or a night person. For the rest of your life. You can change whatever you want. You make the changes. So if I want to be a morning person, I'm a morning person. If I want to be a night owl, I'm a night owl. So anyway, I changed to be a morning person. I'll shoot that in another video and talk more about how I did that, because I struggled with the snooze button for years, most of my life, honestly, and just couldn't get up to save my life. But I'll talk about that in another video. I really want to focus on this one thing that got me most productive, and believe it or not, it's that was huge, just becoming an early bird and going to bed at the same time every night, getting up at about 5:30 in the morning and working for a few hours before the kids got up. That worked great. But the thing is, I was only still getting about 6 hours of sleep a night. And I can survive on 6 hours, no problem. 6.5 hours. When I'm in front of the computer, sometimes I, do the nod, and then I just, lay back and have a 10-minute nap, 15-minute nap in my chair, and then keep going. And it works great. But even so, this last week, I changed something. And this is what it was. I slept 7.5 to 8 hours. I know, mind-blowing, hey? The experts have always said everybody needs between 8 and 9 hours of sleep, or 7 and 9 hours, depending on who you listen to. And I'd always known that to be true in the back of my mind. But it's giving up that time, and it's like, well, it's an extra hour and a half of work I could be doing. But you know what? This week, that hour and a half of extra sleep that I got, I normally, get up at 5:30, and I'd get that hour and a half in the morning, but I found throughout the day I was more focused, more driven to get stuff done, to hit my goals for the day. I found myself, just not chasing rabbits. I would, focus on the task, get the task done, move on to the next task without much interruption, without much swaying from the goals and, flipping Facebook open and being stuck there for a bit or wherever it is. I mean, distractions happen everywhere. So that is the one thing that I changed this week. I've done it for 1 week. Still going to play around with it, see how it goes. But for this last week, I've been sleeping 7.5 hours every night, Monday to Friday. It's been great. I don't doze off during the day. I'm not tired during the day. I'm focused and clear-minded. It's just so much better. Not only do you feel better, you actually get more done. That hour and a half I gave up probably converts into about 3 hours of work. It's hard to explain, but the productivity I get out of it is I get more done sleeping those 8 hours than I did sleeping 6.5, 7 hours, or 6.5 hours. So just thought I'd share that with you. Maybe that's something you need to think about doing and doing a test run like me. Maybe for a week, maybe for a month. Just try getting that set sleep schedule, but go to bed at the same time every night so that your body's in a schedule, so you're not going up and down and your body's wondering what's going on. Get in that, go to bed at the same time every night within about a half an hour window, and then get up around the same time every day and get that sleep in. Okay, play with it, see what works for you, and compare it with previous amounts of sleep and stuff like that. You don't have to grind it out. You don't have to get up 3 a.m. to get stuff done during the day. There are some people on the planet that can survive on 3 hours of sleep and they're productive. I am not one of them. Maybe you are. I'm not sure, but the expert hustlers and grinders out there say that everyone should be like that. But just because you're like that doesn't mean everyone needs to be like that or should be like that or will not necessarily even work for them. So just my 2 bits of advice there. I hope you have a good weekend. It's Friday, and I'm going to enjoy myself. Cheers.